Hello and welcome to another Pep-C Sensual Love Vote, the podcast name that has absolutely nothing to do with the podcast. I'm joined again by Lucas Werner.
So,
He's a YouTuber, Facebook icon, you name it. So I thought it was interesting that you wanted to do another podcast.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Had nothing else.
Is there any thing you want to talk about?
Well, I just made a board game.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Can you show it out? Did he like craft it? Did he make anything, or did he just write the rules? What did he do?
I just came up with an idea and sent it off to a board game manufacturing place, and they made a board game.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because isn't there websites where you can do that?
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Okay.
So I just had a game about cops running from stoners, where you like move the pieces, but you also move the road. So it's kind of, it's like checkers meets, I don't know, moving the road.
Now, so how does making the board game work? Like, how do you do that?
Just come up with an idea of what the pieces look like and what they do. And you go to the gamecrafter.com and then plug in the values, like upload the pictures that you make. And then when you get it, you figure out how to play it like I did in this case. But usually I already have the idea set up, but I just had the pieces set up, and then I wrote some fake directions, and then I rewrote the directions.
Okay. So is this a game you plan on selling?
I don't know, maybe. I'm going to have my parents play it and see if they like it. And if they like this one like they like the last one, then I could maybe sell it. Like I made one called Meeple Toss, where you're throwing like wooden figurines onto the table and like trying to land them in certain circles. And they really like that. And then I sold 2 copies. So I've made like 5 of these games.
Okay.
And I'm just going to send them a big box of them.
Can you show some? Do you have any you can show off on here?
Yeah, maybe. This is a game I made. You can see it's got pot leaves on it, pot bud. It's called Dank. And you open it up and get like these tokens. The tokens are the other side. The green is that, and the police, when they capture you, they give you a warning, so they stack a red one. And usually it's pretty favored for the cops. You got the police officer, and then got these little road pieces that like look like that, or like that. You've already seen that one. So there's like a number of these road pieces. I think it was 8 each. And I had directions written out that were really bad. And then I figured out how to play it a different way. And I've made like 5 games.
So, what was I going to say? It's
really interesting to make.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I used to always like make my homemade board games and stuff. There's this one I was actually was planning on making a couple of years ago, I think, where the concept was so the game would take place in a school, but
Right.
each player would play different characters. One would represent but each character would do different things, and
Right.
they're all like high school stereotypes pretty
Right.
much. But then there was the school shooter, and
Oh, wow.
the school shooter was like the first. You had it. The goal of the game was it was kind of a school shooting sort of, but like so you had that character, then you have the cop character, and then you had the bully, and then you
Right.
the nerd. It was all the stereotypes, and they would all each have different roles. And the objective, the goal of the game was like to stop it or whatever. That was the whole objective, and it was I don't know. It was kind of an interesting idea I had. I didn't do anything else with it though. I just forgot about it. I don't know. I do that a lot. I have a lot of projects, and I always forget to finish them.
Board games are kind of hard to make.
Yeah.
For any kind of tabletop game, because I've made some that are just like, they seem like they're ripoffs of other games.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized that when it was like being printed, I was like, this is Monopoly, isn't it? But it's
oh, sorry, go on.
Like when you're on a tile, you roll the dice, and you have 6 different directions that you can go in. It uses coins instead of paper money. You're attaching positron energy to electricity, really, to create a warp drive. But it's really similar to Monopoly.
Right.
It's cool though.
What's your favorite? This is an interesting question. What's your favorite like knockoff board game? Like a game that's a knockoff of like a classic board game. Like,
oh, I don't know. I guess Nefertafel is a knockoff of chess, and it's like 800 years old.
So
it's known as Viking chess, and you got players in the middle. That's the black. You got players on the side, and that's the white. And you're trying to get your king to the corner or capture like a certain number of things.
Mm-hmm.
From 300s. So probably that.
Okay. What what?
Nothing. Go with.
So what was I gonna say? What was your I'm gonna ask this, what was your favorite board game as a kid growing up?
I didn't really have a lot of favorite board games. I played a lot of Monopoly, but I hated it. I didn't really start liking board games until I was like 37 years old. And then after that, it was like Carcassonne, because I played that a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Met a whole bunch of people playing it. But then the situation changed, and it was just me. So I couldn't play it anymore. And then this guy kept coming around that I had met in that situation, and he never wanted to play any games. He just wanted to bullshit with me. And I was like, why don't you want to play any games? He's just like, I don't like any games. Well, okay. That's not fun. I don't want to sit and bullshit with you. I'm not your girlfriend. It's not like we're doing a podcast or something.
Yeah. I don't know if I've asked this on the last one or not. What kind of music you listen to? I don't know if I asked that on the last one.
A lot of synthwave.
Okay.
dark wave, chill wave, stuff like that, like synthesizer music.
What do you think about
I usually
vaporwave?
listen to like what?
But what do you think about vaporwave?
That's not even music,
How is it not music?
isn't it? Isn't it like a video game thing?
No, it's a genre. Well, yeah, it's a genre of music and like art, like graphic
Oh,
design.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's good. It's probably good. If it's got wave at the end of it, I'll probably listen to it eventually.
Well, yeah, that's what it pretty much is. It's pretty much just like synthwave music. So, but it's like remixed, uh, kind of
Sounds
remixed
cool.
synthwave music. But yeah, it was like it was kind of a big thing, a few years ago, like 20. It was like 2013 to 20. Nah, maybe like 2014, 2016, 2017 ish. That's kind of how long the
So between 13 and
wave
7
it lasted, I
is
guess.
the vaporwave golden age.
Yeah, I mean, people still do it and stuff. Now I notice nowadays that a lot of people that make that type of music are make mostly like the lo-fi hip hop beat
Right.
stuff. Yeah, I kind of evolved into that weirdly. Like, have you seen that YouTube that live stream that never ends? The YouTube, the lo-fi hip hop beats to study
No,
to or whatever.
it was like Nyan
It's
Cat.
there's this live stream that just has been going on for like 2 years.
Oh,
And
jeez.
yeah, it's and it just shows the visual. It just shows this anime girl like studying with her cat, and it's been going on. The live stream's been going on for like 2 years. I think it's like 2017 it started, I believe. It's crazy. It plays is just it's just like a playlist of like lo-fi hip hop beats.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of
I put on
interesting.
a synthwave thing that was like 10 hours long one time. I don't think I listened to the whole thing.
There's also
That doesn't
there's also the live streams where it's like they'll like play like cartoon shows, like they're always like Family Guy 24/7 live stream. I've noticed a lot of those have been popping up, and it's kind of weird because like I click on it and then I'm just kind of right. I mean, it's like watching on TV, I guess, but it's like I don't know. It's kind of weird, like just sitting there watching it because it's not like I don't know. If I'm watching one of those shows, like I'll put on an episode, but I don't know if I would just go to a live stream and sit there and watch a middle.
You'd want to do something else weird.
Yeah, it's like it's just weird. It's kind of weird, and it has like a chat where people talk and stuff, and it's like I don't know. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. But
yeah, let's say you don't get a girlfriend. Except there's probably a lot of guys with girlfriends that are on that and they have girlfriends, and it's like, why do you deserve a girlfriend? You're on this all day.
I mean, I don't know if like those type of dudes sit and watch Family Guy 24/7 live stream all day. I think they're more into like Twitch streams, people playing games and stuff.
Well, that's different.
Yeah,
that's actually fun.
Yeah,
I used to sit and watch my friends play all the time. I'd just get really high, and then I'd be like, I don't want to play games. I want to watch you guys play. So I'd watch them play for just hours on end, and we'd just still get high.
Yeah.
At a point where I started like bringing food over there just to watch a guy play games. He'd hook weed too.
I don't know. I don't know. I've watched a few of those streams, but like I don't know. I'm not really like. Sometimes it depends on the person, the streamer. I think like that's entertaining. Like, a lot of them are just really boring. They just like don't talk. They're just sitting there, playing the game, and then they're all like, someone donates money. Oh, thank you for donating $2, and then they go back being silent for 2 hours.
Really?
There's a lot of streamers like that.
I wonder if there's any board game things like that where I could just like sit and
there has to be some out there like that.
Like
there has to. There has. I think there is some board game live streamers and stuff. I mean, people would watch. I'm assuming people would watch it if they watch video game live streams. I've seen people do like Magic stuff,
right?
So I'm assuming they would watch a board game.
I've sat and watched people play Magic before.
Yeah, like I've actually thought about doing the board game thing before, live streaming. There was one video I did where I live streamed playing a board game.
Really?
It was this weird. I kind of regret the live stream. Well, it was a very good live stream, but like the people in it, I don't really like anymore.
Right.
So I regret it, but I mean, I don't really regret it, but I don't like looking back on it. But the live stream, it was a game. It was like Monopoly, but it was this really obscure board game I found, version of Monopoly. I found at an antique store called it's called a Portland Monopoly. And I live in Oregon. And
right.
I don't live in Portland, but I live in Oregon, and it's like a game based on the city, but the game was like 30 years old, and it's kind of dated. Yeah. It's very dated, but it's kind of. But it's kind of.
The guy who follows me on Twitter that's got 37 versions of Monopoly that he said.
Yeah, they made it like on everything.
They made a Seattle one.
Yeah, I'm assuming they made it for all the major cities.
Probably.
But
there's just milking that thing. It's not even a good game.
I know.
Compared to the games that are out there now, it's nothing. Like Carcassonne will blow your mind. There's games like Coimbra that are really intense and deep. There's games like Assyria and El Dorado and just like stuff where you're collecting resources all the time. Like really fascinating shit.
El Dorado, that's the one I've never played that. I don't even know what that's even about. I've always heard about it.
Like I see that all the time. Yeah. I was gonna buy Antiquity that was $130 and then somebody bought it. And there's like Gloomhaven that's 107. El Dorado looks fun. I don't know how I'd play it. I don't know how anybody would play it with.
What kind of game is it though? Like,
it's like resource management.
Okay.
Like you put your workers there, they collect resources for a certain amount of turns, and then they collect that and maybe build something with it.
So it's kind of like
games are like that.
Yeah, like Settlers of Catan. Settlers of Catan's kind of that genre, sort of.
Right.
Yeah. Material collecting.
There's so many games that aren't like that are just as complex.
Right.
I don't know. I've got a couple of them.
So Settlers of Catan's a very easy game, though. It's not really that complex.
I own it, though. I just I gotta own this, so I bought it. And of course, I have no one to play it with.
I really like
a bunch of girlfriends, like maybe 7 or 8 of them, and then all we do is play board games and have sex. Like the Playboy Mansion of board games. The tabletop mansion.
It just has like every board game there.
Yeah. Thousands.
That'd be nice, actually.
Yeah, well, except the pool would kind of mess it up. They'd have to dry off. If I had a pool. Because it's cardboard, man. I mean, you'd have to kick them out.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I really like the a lot of people hate Trivial Pursuit, but I really like Trivial Pursuit.
I like Trivial Pursuit. I think Trivial Pursuit is pretty fun. You're just answering questions.
I know a lot of people hate it because they're like, I don't know any of this.
That and Scrabble.
I'm not a big fan of Scrabble though.
I love Scrabble.
I don't know, but Trivial Pursuit, I don't know. I'm not an expert on it or anything, but like I mean, I get
Right.
it depends on the game, I guess. Like there's so many versions. Like
It's like a category.
I have
Yeah.
the one of the pop culture ones, which is pretty good because it's sort of up to date. It's like from the stuff from the last 20 years and stuff or whatever. So, that one's pretty
I
like
would probably bomb at the ones from like these days. Like it would just be all about Trump. Trump
yeah.
Trivial Pursuit. I get a couple of those.
Yeah. But
Like
like,
what is
I am
Robert Mueller's political party? Republican.
yeah, the original I I forgot. I think my mom owns it. I don't know. I think she owns the original Trivial Pursuit, and that one is really hard to play.
Oh, well, I
Like,
don't know. That would be old. It'd
yeah,
be like the
it's
50s or 60s.
it's yeah, it's from like the 60s, I think. Because there's a lot of most of the stuff are about like early like stuff from like mostly early 20th century stuff, I guess. Like it's
Yeah.
very it's mostly like history questions, or I mean there's stuff like like movies and stuff which are pretty easy to me for me, I guess. They're not that hard, but like
70s,
uh
though. That'd be.
but a lot of like the questions are just like what like and the only
Yeah.
people I would get these are like people like 70 plus, like they're and there's some they just redate the questions like it's like a 90-year-old would have to answer them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like who was Humphrey Bogart's wife?
yeah, I
Barbara
can't.
Dahl.
I don't even know that one. I don't
Yeah, they were
know.
like 25 years apart,
Uh,
which I think is kind of cool.
do you want something like that?
Yeah. Maybe not 25, but like 25
Wait,
in 5 years.
so you're gonna be 40, right?
What?
You're gonna be 40, correct?
Yes, this year.
Okay,
So I
so
couldn't do 25 because that would be what, 15?
yeah,
I think 20 would be.
20.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
uh,
parents are like, my other parents are 20,
8.
8 years apart.
Oh, 8 years. I thought you said 8 years old. I was like,
No.
what?
My dad and stepmom are 8 years apart.
Okay. Uh, wait, how old are they?
Dad's 67, she's 59.
Okay. So she had you when she was like 19? 19?
No, they got married when she was like 27 or
Uh-huh.
28, and I was already around. I was
And
like 6 years old.
how old was your mom when she had you?
My mom was 24. I'm
Okay.
talking about my dad and
That's
stepmom.
actually the same age as my mom had me when she was
Yeah,
24. So,
probably pretty common.
yeah. That's what's crazy to
My
think
dad
that
was
I'm like,
28.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
normal.
yeah. I actually think my dad was 28 too.
Weird.
Or 29. It was 28, 29. I don't remember. Something like that. But yeah, that's crazy to think that like I'm almost that age when my parent or when they had me. And what have I accomplished? Nothing.
That's what I think. Like my dad had been married 3 times by the time he was 36. And I'm like, well, at least I didn't do that.
I don't understand the you know what's weird? It's not that not the divorcing someone then years later marrying someone else, but the where the people they remarry like the same person. Like
Not really. I mean, my stepdad and my dad couldn't be more different. And my stepdad's a lot older. Like he's 6 years older than my dad. My mom's 10 years younger than him.
So like, what are your parents like? Like,
My
what are they
parents,
like?
cool. They play a lot of board games. That's why I sent them shit. Uh, they play a lot of water volleyball now. They're retired. They used to be travel agents. They used to work for bounty hunters for a while, or bail bondsmen, and send the bounty hunters after people who broke their bond.
Did they work with? Did they? It was were the bounty hunters like Dog the Bounty Hunter?
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. I've never. That would be pretty. They're really goody with the law and shit.
So like, I always wonder because I was just thinking because it was on TV the other day, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen this in a while, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, they're not really doing anything illegal, I guess. But I was like, how does the bounty hunter thing work? Like, because you can't do much, I know, legally. Like,
They have
I
a
don't
gun.
know, but they can't like shoot. They can't
Well,
shoot
they
it.
probably can.
They can.
Yeah, like I think the police pay them.
Oh, do
Before
they?
they go long distances outside of the city, they work with the bounty hunter to get a guy that went across state lines, and it's like a federal position.
But like a
Bounty.
lot of, but like a lot. I thought a lot of like you can't like do that if you're like in town or whatever.
Well, no, they go when people get like across county lines or state lines, like they're
Mm,
outside the jurisdiction of the town.
okay.
It's just like another area that's like bigger.
Mm,
Tends to ride motorcycles.
okay. Um,
They're usually very conservative Christian-y types.
right. Uh, so what was I gonna, what was that? What was I gonna ask? There was uh, what was I was reading something. It was about aren't you like a founder of some website? Like
I had a website, but it got taken down because too many people reported it.
what
And it
was it?
didn't have anything like on it worthy of being reported. There were just a bunch of people that didn't like me.
Mm, what was even the website about? Like,
It was about how older fathers with younger mothers create stronger DNA. And there was like this
mm,
laundry list of links, like maybe 50 links that prove my point.
okay.
Shit from medical journals all the way down to like mathematical sequences and biology and stuff.
Uh, yeah, okay. Because I was just wondering, because I heard about, like, I read something, like, and I didn't really know what it was. I was, like, curious. Uh, so, what else was I gonna ask? Um, so, uh, fuck, I'm blank right now. So, so what were you going in college? Where are you going to college for again?
I don't know. Maybe embryology, maybe board game design. Just get like an AA and we're a bachelor's degree, and like say I have a bachelor's degree, I design board games, and maybe that helped me in the industry.
Okay. Oh yeah.
But
Uh, I wanted that. That's what I wanted to ask. Because I've been thinking lately. Because I'm into I'm one of those people that uh, or I'm an armchair psychologist.
right,
And I'm just gonna be blunt about it. I'm not gonna be like one of those people that tries hiding the fact and like try to act all psychologist-y and stuff and diagnose
yeah,
everyone. But uh, I was thinking because I've I've liked reading stuff about like psychology and stuff, but like I started thinking like how much of this like is actually like a real thing or not? Like like for example, like certain mental disorders, like ADHD, ADHD, and
Right.
even like
Controversy.
even like even like I guess you go as far as, let's say, like even like high functioning autism or even personality disorders. Like it just seems like, I don't know, like a lot of the when you start, especially the mental disorders, if you start researching about them and stuff, and there's a lot of holes I've noticed. Like you start noticing
Yeah.
like holes. Like there's like, well, isn't this thing actually this thing? Like why is it like its own separate
Well,
thing? It's like
I know if I take lithium, I feel a lot better. Like, I definitely have some depression,
mm,
and it kind of helps with the psychosis, and the psychosis leads to the depression.
right.
You know, like you would have said, like anger leads to fear, or fear leads to anger, whatever he said. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to sadness.
Hate and hate leads to suffering.
Yeah.
I just know that because Star Wars. Yoda said that. That's the only reason why I know.
The, 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 the depression seems to go away.
Uh-huh. Right. And that's what I'm
So it's
like,
got to be with.
because I think because there's obvious like stuff that exists, like really obvious, but there's stuff like the whole ADHD and like, and even like well, it's no longer Asperger's, but like high functioning autism and like personality disorders are the ones that I'm kind of skeptical on, because they seem,
I think autism is real.
yeah, I think
You can
there's
notice.
people that obviously have it, but then there's some where they say, "Oh, I just subtly have it," but it's like I
Well, a lot
don't.
of people diagnose.
What's that?
A lot of people will self-diagnose, be like, "Oh, I'm so depressed. I got bipolar." No, you don't.
Yeah, I hate that,
Maybe,
man.
maybe.
I have it. I have it, and I hate when people I know that obviously I've known for a long time obviously don't have it, and they're like getting angry one day, like, ah, I'm so bipolar. Ah, it's
Yeah,
like it's like
I
the
hate that.
worst. Yeah. It's like, no, you don't. And then I remember one time I asked somebody, I said, do you know what mania is? They're like, what's that? It's like
Yeah,
exactly my point.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like half of bipolar.
Yeah. And a lot of times anger can be, well, usually fueled by depression, but a lot of times it can be fueled by mania and stuff. This depends. If you're like
Yeah,
if you're manic and under
mania.
stressed, that's usually when the anger comes.
Yeah, like I'll go days where I'll just like post on Twitter or Facebook, and then I'll go days where I just like post one or two things. And
Right.
it's
I
like
do
the
that
one or two
sometimes.
is probably the normal.
Yeah. I'll go to like days where on Facebook, I'll like you said, automatically I'll just post and post. I'll have this like almost like
Yeah.
drive where I'm like being an attention whore and stuff, and then there'll be like all of a sudden
I do that.
I'll be all like really like make it really like I'll just ghost completely on social media, and
Yeah.
I'll like make like posts where I'm like, which is not a good thing to do, but I'm like, man, fuck everything, fuck this, and I'll just leave, and then a week later I'll come back or something.
I
It's
love everybody.
yeah, it's kind of
I
screwed
love
up, but yeah, but yeah, the personality disorders though, I don't know, like a lot of it I think is just negative, like perceived as negative personality traits in people. I don't think it's necessarily a disorder though. Like, I don't know.
borderline people are a little different. You can sense them.
Yeah,
Like they're
borderline
kind of
people
hate, and then they get all mad that they're hateful. And that's usually how
yeah,
you know a borderline person, like somebody that's kind of dark, like a mean spirited sense of humor.
it's usually someone that's like
But they're kind of cool too.
kind of like, or like they're really like a sign of a borderline person is like you probably know them, like borderline girls. I'm assuming, like,
Yeah.
came across them. They'll, if they approach you, they'll just randomly. They're the type that'll randomly approach you and then act really overly nice and
No,
like,
I totally mean.
or overly mean.
They've done both. I've seen
Yeah, I've seen both too.
both.
But
Like
they're
they'll
the type that'll just like say, "Oh, like I've had this," or they're like, they'll just get all of a sudden like I know, like they'll message me and be like, oh, like, hi, oh, you're so cute, like just throw all this stuff at me at once, and I can usually detect it because I've been around, I've known people with the diagnosis and stuff, so I've detected it, but it's it's almost like borderline. I think the
well, you
problem,
know,
I
they
think,
say, like crazy girls fuck good.
yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. I actually have been. Uh, Attracted to those type of girls and stuff. I have no problem dating. I don't have a problem, but the the part about borderline that's annoying about people is it's not even their like ups and downs and all that stuff. It's that it's too much. I think that's why I feel a problem. It's like they're too
Yeah,
much. I
yeah.
think they're just, it's like just a giant wall of like emotions constantly thrown in your face. Like, like it's good to be, it's fine to be sad. Like we all get sad about things. We all get angry. We all get happy. We're always in. We fall in love. We feel love sometimes, but like when it's all that thrown at you at once, nonstop, it gets real. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
They could change real quick too,
Oh yeah.
because they're
I,
borderline. They're not quite on either side there.
yeah, I'm not. My sister doesn't listen to my podcast, so I'm just gonna. But my sister, I don't know. She hasn't been diagnosed, but we all assume that she has it, and she has that like issue, like she can switch quick, like that.
You must be
Uh,
an older sister.
yeah, but she's done it for ever since I can remember. Always been like that. Like, but she threw she so she has one of these portable mouses like this I have,
Uh-huh.
and one time I was over at her house and we got into a debate. Never get into a debate with a borderline person. Never. Worst mistake. Um she was talking about, she just wanted this rant about how kids these days are always more violent and stuff. And she's only like 6 years older than me,
Yeah.
and she's like, and I told her, I was like how are they any like, yeah, there might be some differences, but how are they more violent? She said, well, they play violent video games. So then I just told her, well, I grew up playing violent video games, and like I pointed at her boyfriend, her friends and stuff. Like, yeah, we played all kinds of stuff we probably shouldn't have been playing. Like, it didn't make us violent or anything. And then she's all like, I forgot what she said. She said like no, they're more violent. And then she picked up her portal mouse, like I have, threw it against the wall. It almost hit my head and went woo, flying by my head. Like,
See, I'm the
woo.
biggest hypocrite. I only want to date normal girls.
Yeah, and then fucking it like broke. I think it broke the mouse.
So,
Ran into her room,
in,
ran like a little kid, ran into there, pounding against the wall, put a hole in the door, screaming, and then
really?
her roommate was we just looked at each other like that just happened, and he's like, I'm sorry, and then I said, I'm gonna get going now. Over because of some violent video game debate. But that's what I'm saying. Like borderline, they'll do
Wow.
they'll do stuff like that, and I've known
Yeah, I can see
cases
it.
like that. And because I was watching something actually. Jordan Peterson was talking about borderline people, and he said that what's odd about them is that they're adults. A lot of them, like full grown adults, so they'll throw like fits, throw
Yeah.
temper tantrums like they're little kids
I don't,
and stuff. They're kind of, I don't know. It is interesting because like we all get like angry, emotional here and there, but like it is like
yeah.
how they express it is like it's almost like a child, the way they do it, which is kind of interesting to me.
There's like 400 different things in that DSM too.
Like disorders.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff I never even heard of. Like I'm never like I've done like research and stuff and read through it, and like there's stuff like that's like new to me. I don't know anybody that's ever been diagnosed with. There's a lot of weird stuff. I feel like a lot of it's just like a repeat of a lot of other disorders, like
Yeah, maybe.
because there's one people do get diagnosed, or like it's usually like children get diagnosed with, which is called like an adjustment disorder,
Right.
and I guess but reading through it's very vague. It's pretty much like either could be like anxiety issues or like ADHD, or it can be pretty much like any of those things, and you can have any of those and you can be diagnosed with an adjustment disorder. It's usually for children though. I don't think adults don't get diagnosed.
So if you're not going along with the flock,
Yeah,
you're different somehow.
yeah, that's why I think it's kind of dumb diagnosis. When I went to a psychologist, one of the first meetings, I was like 15 maybe, and the first thing he diagnosed me was a adjustment disorder. I thought it was weird. I was like, why the fuck, like, and I read through it and I was like, okay, I am that, I guess. It doesn't, you know, but yeah, then I got diagnosed with
What's weird
when I
is
was
that
older, I got diagnosed with bipolar and ADHD, but yeah.
I got diagnosed with bipolar, but I took like 12 examinations. I was in jail once and didn't get, they didn't say I was bipolar for any of that. For like 12 examinations while I was in jail. I was like, I know I have bipolar.
Yeah. What is weird with me is I got diagnosed at a weird age, where I got diagnosed when I was 17, and they couldn't they said I had juvenile bipolar disorder. Like you have juvenile bipolar disorder, but they diagnosed me with cyclothymia, which is like the only thing they could.
Oh, really? That's
diagnose
like
me.
3. It's like
Yeah,
kind of offshoot bipolar.
Yeah, well, it's like it's pretty much like type 2, pretty much, but yeah, it's kind of offshoot. But they diagnosed me with that, and then that was pretty much the reason too. Like if I did it now, they would probably diagnose me with like type 2, but they just
type
did
2, and then they went to type 1, which is like an improvement.
Is it?
I guess it's something different. I don't know. They think that I was born with it rather than just like it happened when I was 20.
Right, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Because I always assume type 1 is a worse disorder than type 2.
I don't know if it's worse. It's just a different diagnosis. I think type 1 you're born with, kind of like diabetes 1, diabetes 2.
Yeah.
And then one of them you come into later on. I think it's about the same. I don't think it's any different. It doesn't feel any different. My drugs work.
I always thought I thought because one's mania and one's hypomania.
I don't know. I'm honestly not all that.
Manias is with like psychosis and stuff like that. Hypomania doesn't have. It just has a what's it called? Euphoria or whatever. So it doesn't have the psychosis. Hypomania doesn't have the psychosis or anything like that.
I experienced euphoria earlier today when I smoked a big fat bowl outside.
Mm-hmm. I was yesterday at work. I was fucking, which is good. It makes that work easier, but
yes, it does.
But I was. Oh my god! Because I clean. I work as a. I'm actually a janitor, and
right.
I was cleaning some gym, and like I looked ridiculous in there because I was like running back and forth.
Huh. Looks like the sound went out.
Wait, is it working now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Out for a bit. Because I unplugged it accidentally. So yeah, I just looked ridiculous, like running back and forth in the gym. It was dramatic.
Like a school gym, like a really big one.
It wasn't a gym. It wasn't a school. It was a school gym. It was like a school gym, but it was a. We have this. I don't know if it's nationwide or if it's an Oregon thing. We have this thing called the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any like that there.
Probably. I don't know.
And it's just a place where like kids. It's kind of like a not really a rec center, but it's kind of yeah. And they have like I think they have like sports and stuff there.
Right.
I don't know. I never went there as a kid. I think my sister went there, but yeah. So yeah, they have a gym. They have a huge 2 gyms in there, and there's one that's huge, it's like a regular, like a high school gym, pretty much. Well, it's bigger than a high school gym, I think. It's pretty big gym. But yeah, it's yeah, it was pretty ridiculous what I looked like in there. But yeah, and another thing I'm really skeptical of is the existence of psychopaths. This might sound weird.
Psychopaths.
Yeah, because like there's evil people, that do evil things, but like, is it really like a lot of these things really psychopathic? When you think about it.
Well, if they're killing people, sure.
But is that a psychopathic thing to do? And
yes.
I mean, it's evil, but like I thought, like anybody like has the capability.
I think there has to be something wrong with your brain to do something like that.
Well, yeah, definitely, but isn't there always? I always think there's different like cases, like things that feel that. It's not necessarily psychopathy that feels it. It can be, but
I don't know. I mean, I've never really had the urge to do that.
I never either. But it's, I don't know. Like
there's people that have the urge to do that and don't do that too.
Mm-hmm. It isn't. I feel like that's. I think that's just kind of. It just depends on what fuels the person. I think there has, like, to kill an innocent person. I feel like there has to be something wrong with your brain. But like, I think it's see, if the person, like, if they kill the person, then afterwards didn't care that they killed the person. I think it's more psychopathic. Like if they kill them and immediately regret it, I don't think that's necessarily.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Or have some feelings towards it.
Like it was just a mistake.
Yeah.
Like there was in the heat of the moment.
Yeah. Crime and
But if
passion
they
or
do it
whatever they
like
call
10
it.
times, they're probably a psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
They
just
like
as
everything.
I think it's I don't know what I'm saying, but like it's I think it's like it's definitely like the like the acts and stuff are abnormal, but like the I don't know if it's like a singular disorder.
Right.
That's
I've
what I'm
heard
trying.
that.
It's kind of similar how I feel about like Asperger's. It's kind of
Not
similar. Like it's like is it I mean, yeah, these are I guess sort of, but like are they is it really like a single disorder that's causing all this, you know? It's like
Huh.
because at well, psychopathy I get, but like Asperger's, like I don't like. It's too vague. There's too many things like traits like that are don't
Man,
seem
Asperger's,
related.
I've met one.
I've met like a lot of people. I have a lot of friends who have it diagnosed and stuff. Uh, and when I was younger, they tried getting me diagnosed with it when it was cool because like there was a
See,
that like in the like early 2000s. Well, like maybe like I don't know how long it lasted, but there was a point in time where like diagnosing every kid with autism and ADHD was hip, which still happens,
yeah.
but when it kind of was publicly recognized more, that's when it started becoming hip to
Yeah.
diagnose kids with it. 'Cause- and yeah, it's um they it just seems vague to me because it's like social difficulties, and then there's usually like they're usually obsessed with something hyper focused, like a subject or a routine, something like that, and then they're usually physically a lot of times they look physically like they have like poor motor skills sometimes and stuff, and it's just uh I don't know, it just a lot of it seems like there's a lot of things, but it's not really a single thing causing all of this. Like I don't know.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, because I don't know. It just seems like are these all these things related? It just doesn't really make sense to me. That's what the part didn't make. I don't know. Like,
It's hard to tell.
and there's some people I look at and I'm like, oh, they're obviously like autistic, and there's some
Right.
people I'm like, and then people say, well, it's a spectrum. It's like, well, where does the spectrum begin or end?
Yeah,
Where's
it's not really
the
what.
fine line? It's just very vague. They always say it's a spectrum. It's like like I don't know. Like that's their argument every time. It's a spectrum. It's like okay, where what's is there a beginning? Is there an end? Well, we don't know. It's like, well, why are you calling yourself autistic then if you don't know? It's like, that's the part that baffles me. I think there's people that legitimately people that socially that have it that legitimately like like are like it's a disorder. Like there's some people that they're serious. They'll tell you like it's really hard living with this. Like uh you know I don't know. Like like it just seems like there's people that like seem like they genuinely have something wrong with them, and they'll tell you they have something wrong with them, and they hate it, and they struggle, and they try working on. Like there's people out there that do that, but then there's some I just feel like yeah, you might have it, but is it really like like ruining your life or anything? Like that's how I view it.
Yeah, some people self-diagnose.
Yeah, that's one. That's a big one that people self-diagnose themselves with because they'll like watch like movies or shows with
Right.
like
Yeah.
ASV characters, and they're like, oh, they're cool because they're like really smart and weird and quirky. I'm like that too. I must have Asperger's. They do that though. It happens.
A lot of times girls do it too, more than guys, I think. I
Yeah,
don't,
it's definitely girls.
but I think it's mostly young women.
Young women are really attracted to things like that. Like that's why
Yeah,
they're very into like astrology, and I
that's
mean I'm
some of it.
kind of guilty of it too, but they're into like, astrology, even like fucking MBTI I was talking about the other day. They're really obsessed with. Their women are obsessed with things like that. They're like uh they like giving themselves this like label, and then they're like, what are you? And then you say it, then they're like, oh, and they try like it's like a shared interest thing. And that's
Yeah,
how, I guess it's like some weird networking thing, because it's such an easy thing to network with, like astrology. It's like, well, everybody has a sign, so I can just, I'm a they'll be like, I'm a Aquarius. Now I can find, now I can ask people, what's their sign? What's your sign? Oh, you're a Gemini. Oh, okay. And then they'll start talking about facts about Gemini. So it's like an easy networking thing, I think. Like, I think that's why. Because I feel
that pisses me off. Like people want to talk about stuff like that. It's like I don't have time for this.
I'm
The Generation X thing.
what is,
The whole fuck everything is stupid kind of
that's
deal.
definitely a Generation X thing.
Yeah, just I want to get to the meat of the issue, not the fucking cloudy,
And
stuff,
millennials
the
fucking
religious, spiritual stuff. I want to get past that and see what really is out there.
yeah.
Like I want
And
to
then
see what I want to see them launch a faster than light radio wave.
yeah. I think it has to do with the fact that you guys are raised by the boomers.
Yeah, we're sick of it because like our parents are like very spiritual and we're not.
Boom,
A lot of
like I don't try to generation shame, but like
there are
fucking, but boomers irritate me. Like they
they
just,
irritate a lot of people, but my parents are
yeah,
pretty cool. They have like a lot of liberal views. And
yeah,
that's usually what irritates people is like, oh, they destroyed the environment. Well, it wasn't them that has destroyed the environment. It was the gigantic factories like Monsanto and Pep-C that destroyed the environment. It's Ford.
right,
It wasn't like my mom and stepdad, my dad and stepmom. It wasn't them. Like they're
right.
all against that shit.
Yeah, but a lot of boomers, like I've noticed, like they have this kind of like attitude
Yeah.
where there's kind of like they they just fucking,
It comes with being old.
yeah, they just, it's not really an old person
That same
thing, but they
way.
have this attitude where they think they know their ways, the way around the world, but they're very ignorant on a lot of things at the same
Well, my
time.
parents know their way around the world. They've traveled around the world.
Yeah, but they always own a fucking boat that just sits there.
Well, my dad got a boat, but he sold it.
Did he use it though? Like,
Yeah, I don't know why he
okay,
sold it. It was
okay.
cool.
I mean, but that's just a lot of boomers I know. I have family, a lot of boomer family members and stuff. They always have a boat that they don't use.
Yeah,
Just sits there.
I guess because they have the money. And
Yeah.
all the millennials can afford are avocados.
Yeah.
And you're not even a millennial. You're what, like 20?
Yeah, well, what's weird, that when I was younger, they said I was a millennial, and now
Right.
they're saying I'm Gen Z.
You
Like
are.
they changed
Yeah,
it,
because they had to
because
look
they
at
used to say my people born like in the late 90s were like millennials, and now they're saying, oh no, they're not. Like
it.
all,
Yeah.
like in the last 2 years they said that, oh no, you guys aren't. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw I'm confused. I'm kind of like, I don't even know.
Generation Z and Generation X are really stupid names to begin with.
Yeah.
Millennials have a cool name. Baby boomers at least
I
have a
feel
cool
like
name.
I feel like I'm I I I don't know where I fit. Probably a millennial. I don't know.
Well,
I
how
don't
old?
know. 20.
So you'd be Generation Z. Like it started in like 1997. You were born in 99,
898.
98.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're like a zillennial.
Yeah. Well, I think I've heard that term. I've actually heard that term. I
Yeah,
think I've heard that.
like the
Yeah.
cusp.
Yeah. People like in the mid to late 90s are kind of in that sort of zillennial kind of.
You were born in the same year I graduated from high school.
Yeah. But but then there's like some weird, I feel isolated. I mean, I think it's just generation gaps. Like I feel
Yeah.
like kids that grew up, like, I don't know, like I feel isolated, from people that like little kids and shit. And I guess Generation Z's, they're part of Generation Z. And like, because I think, um, how, see, the generation gap, how they define it, I think is kind of weird.
Yeah, it
I
is
feel like
weird.
it's not like a lot of times there's either too long of a gap or too short of a gap. It
Yeah, it's
doesn't,
usually about every 15 years.
right. But um,
It
I
should
feel
just be
weird
20, though.
because I notice a lot of I didn't grow up with uh, having like iPads and stuff, like having all this
Right.
like tech in front of me. And it was weird when I started seeing like 7-year, like 6-year-old kids with like phones and shit, like own them. And it's like, what? I didn't even own a phone until I was like 10 or some shit. Or yeah, I had a little
I didn't
flip
own a
phone, but
phone until
I
I was
didn't
like
own
30.
it. I didn't like use it. I didn't have like any access to anything. Like it was just to call my parents. That was it.
Right.
Like it was useless. I didn't tell like I was a high schooler till I got, like a smartphone and shit. Like I was older.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't.
everybody has.
Yeah, and that's where my the gap comes from, because like there's kids that have all these like internet access and all this something I never had. And so that's why I think that's weird that I'm lumped in with, if I was Generation Z, I'd be lumped in with them. It just doesn't feel, and I
Technology
don't
moves
know.
fast. They might be Generation Alpha.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I think when you're born like in the late something, like the later part of a generation gap, that's when it gets confusing. You're just like, I don't know where.
Yeah, because that's kind of where I was. I was born in 79. And so, like, the millennials were born in 82. So, my
Mhm.
younger brother was like, he always thought he was a millennial, but he's actually a Generation X.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. It's confusing. Like they'll change it like over time. They'll change it. Like they'll
Yeah, they
say, "Oh, this is where it starts and ends," and then they're like, "Nah,
were
this
95 to 98.
is where it ends."
Yeah, well, where it begins.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's where it's confusing. Like I don't know, because there's so many definitions. There's people that say, "Oh," some people say generation or millennials end in like the early 90s, and there's some that say, oh, 94. Then there's some that say 2000 even. And so
Right.
it's like, where, and then people say Generation Z starts in 1995, and then there's some that say, oh no, it's like 2002. It's like, where's, like, there needs to be an exact definition. There's all these
Yeah, that does.
people, like, just, that's where I'm confused, because when I grew up, I was told I was a millennial, but now they're saying I'm fucking Generation Z. So it's like, what the hell? I don't know. Even school, they call us millennials. They're like, oh, you guys are millennials. It's like,
And millennials are the ones teaching the class, probably.
yeah. Well, no, they're like Gen Xers, the ones that are teaching.
Yeah, like my generation is.
Yeah.
I have a teacher that's like 5 years older than me.
See, the millennials, I think, well, no. Because I always assume like Gen Xers were raised by like baby boomers, millennials were raised by Gen Xers, and then Gen Zs were raised by millennials.
Well, some baby boomers raised millennials.
Yeah, but it's more
parents
common. It's more common for like Gen Xers or millennials. That's it.
We've
Probably.
been around longer, so that we're more
Right.
defined.
Yeah.
But then they forget all about us when they do like those CNN polls or whatever. It's like baby boomers, millennials. What? You just forgot about Generation X?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like we don't matter?
Right.
Fuckers.
Well, I don't know which like that's the part I don't care. I don't really care about which. I mean, it's confusing which one I am, but like I don't really care at the same time because there's always some weird like negative attribute to both. So it's
Well,
like
think about this. Would you date a Generation X woman?
me.
Yeah.
If she was if she was hot.
She's not.
But
Did
in
I
general,
date
I would probably date e- either
maybe
millennial or Gen Z, whatever fuck
I
those
dated a baby
generations take place. Let's safely say millennial and Gen Z. I'd probably
millennial.
most like, yeah, millennial probably. I've seen exennial or whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen that. So maybe that should be the added generations. That would make sense.
The cusp.
Exennials and zillennials. It makes sense though. Hey, it makes more sense. It
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Just add some more to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zoomers.
Zoomers, I've seen that.
Like 1960s, late 1960s Generation X.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Obama, he would be a Zoomer
Mm-hmm.
because he was born in 64.
Wait, wouldn't he be? Oh yeah, he would be Zoomer.
I
Yeah.
thought it was Generation X for a long time. But I guess Generation X starts in 1965.
Okay. I don't know. All this is confusing to me.
It is.
I think they should just go by whatever decade you grew up in. Kind
I
of.
think it's 2 decades.
2 decades.
Like
So
if it's
like,
80s and 90s, millennial. Well,
and
no,
then
that wouldn't make sense either.
yeah, because there's Gen Xers or people born in the 70s that grew up
It should
mostly
be
grew up in the 80s and stuff.
like
So
15 years or 20 years or something to define that.
right.
Like there's Generation X that grew up in the 70s, and then I grew up in the 80s and 90s.
But then I feel like there's like me and my sister. My sister would definitely be a millennial because she's like born in 92. So she'd definitely be right in the middle. But like,
She's younger than my niece.
yeah, but she would be, but like, I don't know. I just, maybe because I have a feeling because I grew up with her, like, it just feel like we're part of the same. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, we grew up around the same stuff. So that's what doesn't like
Yeah.
make sense. Like, I don't know. It's hurting my head. Just thinking about trying to rationalize, make sense of everything. But yeah. What the fuck's even the what's before boomers and stuff? I'm trying to think. Isn't this
The
isn't there like the silent
the
generation?
greatest generation.
Isn't that pre-boomer?
What?
Isn't that pre-boomer the silent generation or the great generation?
Yeah, I think it's the greatest generation because they're the ones that fought in World War II.
Yeah.
Saved us from the Nazis.
Yeah, that probably is the greatest generation.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. I think the silent generation was like silent films.
I think that's where the name comes from. Probably. That makes sense.
And then
They
before
grew
that,
up.
it was World War One generation, the lost generation, because they lost so many people in the war.
Yeah. I just found out. Have you ever done a genealogy test?
Nah, my dad has though.
I haven't. I don't need to because people I know in my family have done it, so it's like, why should I? I'll just probably get similar results, so there's no point. Um, but yeah, it's kind of what's interesting is like how much I realized I was kind of lied to. Like, like growing up, they're always like, "Oh, you're part German." They always tell you you're part of
Yeah,
this, you're part of that, and then it's like you realize how much you're actually that.
you
It's
get
like a
back to
small percentage.
and like what?
I'm actually I have a lot of Native American in me, I guess, which is weird. Because I was always told like, "Oh, you're kind of Native American," but I guess I have way more than I thought they
You
thought.
just tell by looking at you.
But I don't know. I don't really look Native American, but fucking I've always said I'm mostly Spanish and Irish.
Spanish.
Yeah, but I do have Spanish in me, but I guess to find out I have more Native American in me than Spanish.
Did you grow up eating a lot of paella?
Paella?
Yeah,
No, we weren't like
like celebrating the
my
culture.
parents are very white, like very white
Yeah,
American culture. It's not, but I have like extended family that are more Spanish culture and stuff. Uh, but no, I'm just pretty typical American, white American family.
right.
So, but
A lot of macaroni.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. I'm actually more Native American, so I should now say I'm mostly Native Americans and Irish instead of Spanish and Irish.
Huh.
So yeah, which I thought was interesting. But and then I guess I'm part Jewish, which is
Yeah, how
weird.
about that?
Which actually, that's not. People always joked. You know what's funny about that is people joked for years about me being a Jew, and I always said I'm not Jewish. I'm not. And like, oh, your nose. And when my hair gets long, well, I get the Jew. I don't get a Jew fro, but I get like I look Jewish. I look very Jewish, and people always joked about that, like, "Oh, you're such a Jew" and stuff. And come to find out, I guess I am part Jewish. Uh, but yeah, but it's like a small
Yep,
percentage.
well, I guess.
But most of my like physical traits and stuff come from like more like Spanish and all that. Brown, native. No, I'm not really Native American, but like I technically I am more Native American Spanish, but I have more like Spanish features and stuff mostly. But uh yeah, then I'm like 0.1201.5% African or something like that.
Nice. Can
I'm
you?
part, I can I'm part of, I guess I'm a black Jew. I can say that now, and people can't, dispute it. They
Yeah,
can't.
throw the paper.
Yep. Here's the evidence. What? You're only that much? That's the thing about the DNA. See, like, I don't really think it's really that special though. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it's just white people who think they're boring, and like I'm gonna seem more interesting because I have this much Native American in me, like just to show off. That's what it is. It's just I just don't think it's really that interesting of a. I don't know, because it's all predictable. It's like, well, aren't all white people pretty much European across the board, pretty much?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
like, oh, like people like I'm part Spanish, part French, part German, part Russian, part Norwegian, part. It's like, just stop. Like, you're European. We get it. We get it. You don't need to list all the countries in Europe
Yeah.
to prove. It's like what's the word? I don't like the white people who brag about being part Cherokee
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm part Cherokee. It's like, okay, like a lot of people, and it's funny when people brag about being part Irish. It's like, come on. That's like the most common.
Yeah. These are not Irish people.
Yeah. That's why mostly I'm just Irish.
Yeah.
And so it's not special. It is kind of weird that most people here are part Irish. I think it's interesting. Like mostly. Because it's such a small country. I don't know.
A lot of them came over here and had kids.
And people were like racist against Irish.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that.
Irish cop.
Yep. It's kind of interesting, man. They're kind of viewed like how black people were viewed and stuff. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like back in the day. The 20s. Irish fuck.
What do you think about the black Israelites?
I don't know. It's cool, I guess.
The black dudes that think that they're the original Jews or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. They live in Africa. They're black. They're Jewish. There's not much else to say.
But they always like they're on the street corners like heckling like Jews and stuff. Like it's funny.
Yeah, I guess they are kind of around in America.
Mm-hmm.
Preaching on the street.
But yeah. What time is it? 42. How long have I been doing this podcast? Feels like a long time, but not really.
42.
Hour and a half, I think.
Something like that.
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Kind of have to take a leak.
Okay, I don't really have anything else to talk about, so I might end it here.
Sounds good.
All right, well, this has been another episode, and I'm wrapping this up. And thanks for Lucas for coming on again. Expect more guests in the future. Good night. Stop, Ron.